Welcome to It's a Controls Problem, where we do precision guesswork based upon unreliable data given to us by those of questionable knowledge. I'm your host, Charles Johnson. All right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Charles Johnson.
And I'm Matthew Vanberg.
And this is It's a Controls Problem. And so we're doing a special episode this week. We're actually, I believe it's literally 7 days now until AHR. Matthew and I will both be in there and be in the booth. And for those of you who are not familiar with AHR, this is to me and it's fitting that it's like, it's on top of the Super Bowl weekend. I feel like this is kind of like the Super Bowl of like, automation, heating, and refrigeration. Like we get to see like what everyone wants to showcase for the year. It's super fun. I don't know if you think. I don't know if you think that that's what it is, Matthew, but in my opinion, I think that it to me, it is kind of like the Super Bowl.
I like that analogy. The Super Bowl of HVAC and controls.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll get to see, quite a bit. Now, we're going to be in the booth, obviously. I don't remember what booth number it is, but not really important. You will get to see our lovely faces.
Booth 1481.
1481. Okay. Well, good. So I mean, if you're around, absolutely come and talk to us. Would love to chat about all things controls related, for sure. This is my third one. Yeah, I think it's my third one. And Matthew, I think this is your third as well, right?
This is my second.
Okay, so you were in Chicago last year. You were not in Hotlanta.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you were in the real cold.
That's where I come from, so it's normal to me.
Oh man,
I'm from Minnesota, but same weather.
It was so bitter. It was so bitter last year. But this year it's in sunny Orlando. But hopefully, the stranglehold that Mother Nature has had on the South for it being a frozen tundra. I think we're out of the woods. So, for those of you who don't know, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. And Matthew lives in Lee Summit, Missouri, or I wouldn't say Lee Summit, Missouri, somewhere in Missouri.
I live in Kansas City.
Oh, you live in Kansas City. Okay, sweet. All right. Well, that's, you know what? I should remember that because we always go to the ship in Kansas City. That's right.
That's right.
Just me having a brain fart there. But yeah, this year in Orlando, it's only about a 6-hour drive for me, so I'm going to be taking the drive down. But it's going to be great, And if you've never been to AHR, it's really an exciting event, and you should go. Registration is still available for
free till the 8th.
Oh, okay, yes. So until the 8th, great. So until Friday then, right? Friday's the 8th, I think. So
yep.
No, it's Saturday.
Saturday's the 8th.
Yeah, Saturday's the 8th. So yeah, you absolutely should. Absolutely take the time because like you're going to see a bunch of stuff. Like you're going to see what all you're going to see what all vendors, even new and upcoming ones, you're going to see a bunch of them, and just display the products that they want to showcase for the year to really make themselves well known in the market. I mean, a bunch of them, like, for example, Distech's got their, Atrius facilities, probably, and showing off a few other controllers. Lynxspring, we're gonna be showcasing, some new controllers and some additional presentations there, which is going to be pretty nice. Passive Logic, I think, has another big booth, and they've been doing it big the last few years. Reliable is going to be there. I mean, all the big names are going to be there. Um,
Siemens, and I know Siemens is going to be promoting their Building X software.
oh yeah, that's right, they are. I'm not sure what Reliable is going to do. They've got a few new products out. I think they're going to Strato is going to do their open. Strato's going to do their open sensor. I think the new one. Um, then ABB's got their stuff. Belimo's got their stuff. Belimo probably has some new stats coming out too. Um, but realistically, I think that it is just such a great way to do networking, and not just even talking to the vendors. There are many different networking sessions that you can go to throughout the 3 days there. And actually, I think Sunday, some people can actually do some stuff too. I think that's more of a members only for like ASHRAE. Um, but starting Monday, it gears up, and they're going to be talking all kinds of things besides just building automation. They're going to be talking about healthcare, industrial applications as well. Um, Obviously, BACnet's going to be a big thing there too that they're going to be talking about. I think somehow I forgot. I think they're talking about lawn again. Lawn, for some reason, I thought there was somewhere about it making a comeback in some fashion. I don't remember what it was. I'll really have to go back through and take a look at that. But I'm just really excited to just see everyone. And like for me, it's just kind of like what's really great for me is not only do I network with the people that I interact with throughout the year, but like a lot of my friends in the controls industry, I'm friends with a lot of people and who work for vendors or whatever. I get to see them, that like that one time a year, and so like it's just really nice and special to not only display any knowledge or any knowledge that we have, but like I get to see my friends again, and I think that's really good too.
It is nice. I enjoy that element of it. And um, beyond AHR, I've been to a lot of different trade shows, and that's one of my favorite parts of it is making friends. I'm still friends with people that I met, 15 years ago at a trade show.
Yeah, like the thing about the thing about like the seminars and whatnot, you can really learn. There isn't much that you can't learn in them. Like Monday, I believe there's a lot of things about AI, especially like AI and for buildings and data centers. I know that like
Yep.
if you're really kind of like mechanical stuff there, I think they're going to talk about like like cooling tower fundamentals and psychometrics, and even like the next wave of like building automation. And so like whatever your need really in whatever your need is, you're going to find it. Yeah, okay, there is one. So there's one about this grid interactive buildings via EchoPort, and I guess EchoPort is being presented by Lawnmark. Automatedbuildings.com is actually showcasing some of the next technology in building automation. Um, yeah, there's another one, Digital Revolution, AI automation and future customer service, which I think is
Yeah.
really good. BACnet 101. But yeah, like regardless, no matter where you go, like always choose like your, Monday, Tuesday thing, and then, definitely hit the vendors. I think it's always good to just come up with with a set of things that you want to ask, things to get to know too, but definitely walk around because you never know what you're actually going to run into. There was one that I ran into last year early, or I mean, I would say early. It was early in the morning. It was like a Wednesday, and it was some kind of wireless charger that I saw, and it was super nice. The guy gave me one. They were going to raffle a few away, but he didn't have much traffic at the booth, but he gave it to me, and I still use it to this day. But like, there's just so many things that you can do, and definitely build around that. Like, definitely build your Definitely build up your seminars for sure. Get your networking in there too, because you never know who you're actually going to meet either. Like, I'll tell you, I had a very interesting conversation on one of the bus rides. So, like, if you go down there and stay in hotels, there are buses within the local area that are actually just set up to take you to the event. And I sat next to a gentleman. And Matthew, I think I told you about this. I don't remember, but the guy asked me, he's like, "Do you think that dinosaurs are smarter than human beings?" And it first threw me for a loop. I was like, "Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I think you just asked if dinosaurs are smarter than human beings." He's like, "I did." And so like I really had to think about that for a moment, right? Because I was like, obviously, you think humans are, right? Like that to me, like that was like kind of like the obvious answer. But then like I had to think about it for a moment and think about the not so obvious answer, which is actually dinosaurs would be smarter than humans. And I know that's seems like a hot take, but like if you think about how long dinosaurs ruled the earth, right, for like 150 million years without any of the technology that we had whatsoever. Right. And we can barely keep ourselves alive with all the technology that we have. So yeah, no, like dinosaurs are smarter than human beings. But even then, there are just gonna be some great individuals you're gonna see. For those of you who need to get your continuing education credits, there are some credited seminars that you have there. I think they're primarily Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's like 50 of them or something like that, but there are a bunch of them that you can do. Then there's always a podcast pavilion. Now we're not in the podcast pavilion.
Yet.
We're that's right. Yet we're in. We will be in the actual vendor section. But you know what? Like it'd be nice to actually see some of them too, because like some of the podcasts, that we see, like now, like you can be like, oh man, like now we can actually see some of these here. HVAC Know It All is going to be there in the yeah, I know that HVAC Know It All is going to be there at some point. I know Ashray is going to be there. Just a bunch of them, and I think it's going to be fun too. But yeah, like that would be a dream, like to see the podcast really take off like that, and be like, hey, at AHR, we're going to go ahead and have our own stuff. That would be kind of nice there. But just being able to talk to people, I think is really important. Food can also be good. Some of the after parties can be kind of crazy.
Yes,
You
they
don't
can.
you don't really know like how much those guys actually can, how much fun some people can have until you're out there. There are some good ones, much like Niagara Summit, right? Like Niagara Summit was great. That was a really great experience to have. And this being my third AHR in a row, and hopefully, the third of many to come, I will go to as many as I'm allowed to go to. I always wanted to before, and people were like, "No, we really shouldn't put you in front of people." I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that, but I like being able to ask some of the tough questions for controls. I've gone to a couple booths, and just ask some things like, "Hey, so how do you handle this, or how do you handle that?" And like, I like making them sweat because I think it's important to understand that they know what they're talking about, or whether or not the product's just full of fluff. So it's a good way to vet some things out for your future endeavors. Was there anything in particular that you saw? I don't know how much research you did on it. Was there anything in particular that you saw that you might be really interested to see, in your off time?
Yeah, actually, I've got some morning sessions scheduled. I don't have a list in front of me,
Hmm.
but I was going to bring up about how I found those on the ahrexpo.com and go to the plan your show. And I think that's a good way to be prepared for it. Go to the pre-show checklist and check that stuff out and kind of use that as a template, and then go to the education schedule and create an agenda, and you can do pretty much everything you need to for planning there. And I do like that you mentioned, though, plan yourself up. I would love to go to way more sessions, but obviously we need to be in the booth. We're working while we're there, but we get to have some fun. I do like your leave some space. Don't overplan. Don't plan
Yeah.
your every hour of your day out. Leave some time to just walk around and to drift into things and let some serendipity happen, because you'll find stuff. There's so many different companies, new stuff, new technology. You can just wander into they have like the little showcase rooms where you can see them presenting new products and stuff. You can just walk into them. And I would plan ahead. I think setting meetings ahead of time is a good plan. If there's people you want to try to meet with, I will be right back. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
All right. So my kid just wanted me to make him Eggo waffles in the toaster oven. So
Nice.
I've only
Eggos are
showed
great.
him how to use it about a dozen times, and
Hey, Lego my ego. That's for sure.
You're right. So back to the conversation.
Yep.
Plan away, set meetings. Make sure you bring your business cards. I've forgotten business cards before. That's embarrassing. Always just end up writing your contact information on the back of somebody else's card. I mean, it can work if they really want to get in touch with you. They're going to, but we're working the booth, so we definitely want to have our business cards.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I have a dot card as well that I keep. I was tired of carrying business cards around, because like I think I had, like, I don't know, first like I don't know, a couple thousand. I was like, I don't give it out enough. But yeah, like business cards for me, like business cards get lost a lot in the thing.
They do.
And so like the dot card is great because it kind of puts your contact in their phone. Well, whether they could choose to keep it or not, that's really up to them. But at least you've got it there. But yeah, nope, business cards
So
come for me.
So is that an app you can get on the App Store, or I've never used that?
Yeah, so it is a digital card that comes to you. And yes, it does contain an app, but pretty much what it does is that, people can actually scan the QR code on the back, or they can tap it on their phone. And it puts your contact information in, and then they can actually swap contact information with you, and then you get a notification, and then you can download that contact info.
That's the way to do it. I don't know why we're not doing that at Lynxspring. Maybe I need to get that in play.
Well, but, paper is one of those things where, people still really like having them. Like I said, for me, like one thing that I will do is I will absolutely watch people when they take business cards. So like, for example, I remember being in a meeting where the guy, he was an owner of a large building, and it was myself, another or a few representatives of the company, and a few of them, we all handed them business cards, but a few of them, the guy put it in his portfolio, but then myself and the other person he put in his pocket instead. Um, and so kind of noticing those things, like I said to the guy, I was like, he's going to call us. He's not going to call them. He's going to call you and I. And he was like, well, how do you know? I'm like, well, he put it in his pocket. So like, when he goes to bed and he empties his pocket, when he gets home, it's going to be right there. I kind of thought that was an interesting thing to see. But yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of contacts that you're going to get. We scan you every time, so when when you go in your badge, we scan your badge just for contacts. That's going to happen with anyone. Like you could get a lot of different people to call you, over the next few months as leads are being passed out to sales reps or trainers or whatever it may be. And actually there are going to be quite a few trainers there, this coming around. I spoke with a few. They're going to be there. So I think it's going to be fun to, even go there and kind of talk some trainer stuff with there too. You'll find a whole gamut of people, from future business owners, to just your lonely controls man on top of the totem pole, just kind of looking to see what all the new toys are. I mean, you're going to see like huge chillers and stuff like that, and some of the food trucks are going to be great too. But one of my favorite things to do, or one of the favorite reasons why I like to walk the booths, Matthew, the carpet. Some, and I know that seems strange, but like,
going over the different textured booths, the ones that have like the mats under them and stuff.
Yeah, the super plush carpet, like depending, like you can spend so much money building a booth. Yeah, and so like there are so many different features that you can have, and one of them is like how like how soft you want the carpet. And for a big person like me, now granted I've lost a lot of weight. I don't really talk about a whole lot, but yeah, I've losing 100 pounds or so, or a little over 100. My body doesn't scream as much. However, I remember last year, like I don't really take a lot of breaks. There are only certain certain sessions that really interest me at all when I go here. I just really like the networking aspect for me. But I was walking through one and I just stood there for a while, and the guy's like, "Can you help me?" And like, I just need to stand here for a little bit. Like, it feels like I'm walking on clouds right now. And he kind of chuckled, and he's like, "Well, if you need anything, let me know." I'm like, "I will." And obviously Super Bowl is coming this coming weekend as well. So, Sunday is going to be I know for you it's a particularly important Super Bowl, as the last year was, and the year before that. So, congratulations to Taylor Swift for being, the rookie of the year, for winning her first Super Bowl last year. And maybe she'll be a back-to-back winner this time. So, she chose the winning team.
You got to give those rookie of the year props to Worthy. He has been amazing. That signing him on earlier this year has been huge for KC.
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore, so I'm used to disappointment. So like it doesn't matter to me. It's like, all right, well, we should have beaten the Bills, really, but like I said, I'm used to disappointment, so it wasn't that big of a surprise that we lost. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But for the exhibits, or not the exhibits, the sessions. One thing that you'll want to note about the sessions is that they are an hour long, but the first one starts at like 8:30. So like if you're going to choose sessions, choose ones that are going to be when you want to start. So like otherwise you'll have to otherwise you may have to skip ones that you don't, skip ones that you may want to take just because of the timing. So like the first one, the first few will start like 8:30, and then they stagger them in half-hour intervals. So then you're going to see the next ones at 9, then it's going to be from 9:30 to 10:30, and then the ones that are 10 to 11, and then 10:30 to 11:30, and so forth. And so there are a lot of different things, so just make sure that you stay prepared, and don't forget to eat. I don't know what food they're going to have this year. Chicago had some interesting ones. The exhibit hall was actually pretty good, but the one in Atlanta, oh man, let me tell you, right where we were, right literally in our section in the booth, at the corner, they had a food truck, and the food truck served Maryland crab cakes, and they were delicious. And so
nice.
I hope that there's some kind of food truck like that I can just go gorge on.
You burn calories being on your feet that long and walking around that long.
That's correct.
Squishy carpet or not.
That you're not wrong. Monday we're actually going to be doing the Belimo dinner afterwards, and then I'm not sure what's going on Tuesday and or Wednesday, but I may just chill out at the at the hotel. But obviously, if you see us and you want to hang out, definitely we can set up some time. I don't mind meeting and talking to people about anything controls related, not just, a specific product. For me, as you know me, I'm controls agnostic. So I just like talking about controls, period. Doesn't matter whether it is, our product or another product, for sure. So
If so, we're looking at we're you and I are looking at it. We're part of a company that's presenting at AHR. Now, there's a handful of different reasons people would attend AHR. Some of them, it could be a small business owner, it could be somebody from a bigger company sent to go and look around and research. But there's different reasons to be there. And one of the things I was thinking about was, um, if have you been to shows not as displaying, correct? You've gone as the viewer, as the audience, right?
for not for AHR.
But
There,
just trade shows in general.
yes, I have.
So
Specifically NFMT, but go ahead.
okay, when you go in there, do you have a strategy for how you approach booths when you get in there?
Yes. So what I like to do, instead of hitting the hard questions first, because I'll have them. But what I like to do is I want to see how engaging the booth is going to be, right? So like you'll see some booths where you'll have people there that like people will walk in, but like they don't really engage them. They just, they kind of let people go to them. And then, to me, I think it's kind of like of a lost opportunity, because sometimes you may not know the question you have until someone talks with you and starts going through some stuff, and then all of a sudden it starts turning the wheels. So I like to test. I like to test. I like to test boosts as far as how interactive are they going to be, and then at that point, like how well do they know their own product? Because you'll have a lot of sales. People come, that's for sure, and then then you'll really have some of the real tech guys. And so like I try to get with the tech guy first, because like they may not be the most social, but you're going to learn significantly more than getting just a sales pitch. And some of them know how to read their audience really well and be like, cool, yeah, like let's go ahead. And some like may ask who, hey, like what do you do in controls and stuff like that, and like, oh well, let's look at these products here, XYZ. And then after that, you can start hitting you can start asking the hard hitting questions. One vendor, who shall remain nameless, this will be their third year at AHR. I carry two badges, one for our company and one that actually has just another company. And I actually switch shirts
Your
and stuff like that.
incognito badge.
Yeah, sort of. But I mean, I'm like the jig usually is up. Like there are some people that just don't do a lot of research about other people. So like I can go in certain cases and I'm not well known. Whereas some, like as soon as I even approach the booth, they're like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "I'm just looking. Like hold your horses. Like let me look here. Like I'm not looking to spy on you. I don't have a camera. I'm not taking pictures. I mean, I don't need it because of my brain, but the point being is, some of those I get to really ask some questions that they are not expecting. Um, I think it kind of catches them off guard. Whereas, like, if they see if they actually see who you are, they're not as willing to talk with you. Now, some will, because there's money to be made, in the industry, and you may be in two separate markets. Especially with this one, I had asked some really hard hitting questions, and I was asked to leave the booth. It was great. Um, because like the person clearly was out of their depth, and like I just kept hounding on them, like, well, this is what you're saying, but I don't see you explaining it in the way that you should be explaining it. And then one guy's like, hey, I'm gonna ask you to leave. I'm like, okay, cool, like I got what I need out of it. you're going to find that like some products are just as a new thing, like literally they're just starting to explore it, and then maybe they're looking for feedback from people, so they may not have as much information as you think they're going to have. But then you have others, just by doing research, like if you look at the exhibitor list and then go like to that manufacturer's website and take a look at stuff, and ask your, and formulate your questions from there. I think that's kind of how I go about it. It's always educational for me to see what is out there. And the reason being is that you need to see what trends are being followed or what trends are not being followed. Is there a hole in the market that can be capitalized on? Or
Right.
is there something that we're in the same market, but maybe we need to take a few pages out of their book and re-examine what we're doing as a whole, and like, is this the line that we actually need to go to, or can we align ourselves somewhere that is better for our customer base. So those are the ways I really look at it. I think, again, there's so much stuff that you can do, like, some of the things that you'll find, especially like on the automation side, like obviously nowadays people really want they want more smart devices. So like you're gonna find a bunch of different thermostats that you're going to see. So there are going to be a bunch of different ones there. J2 Fin, J2 Innovations, Siemens bought them. And so if you were familiar with the if you're familiar with that company, yeah, it's actually made a comeback. It actually could build graphics. It was called FinStack. So it actually used tags to actually build everything. And so, now they have like a large language model that they want to use. So like they want to, they're trying to use generative AI in order to complete some of their tasks there. There's a Gree Electric. I think they are. They're trying to, I think they just signed on with Tritium, so they're going to have a Jace out. Danfoss is another one that's actually coming out with a line of controllers for the HVAC controls, which is very interesting because that one I'm probably going to take a look at the most, because it's got it's quite modular, and so I'm really actually kind of interested in that, because it's like a modular IO for like HVAC and PLC controls. So that's one I want to know. And also it's supposed to have you're supposed to be able to use AI cloud integration with it to actually do like updates of their software and whatnot. I mean, another thing that you'll have to understand as far as like demos and stuff like that, guys, is that Wi-Fi in these places, if you can get it, first off, it's really overpriced for vendors, and two, you're lucky if you can get it. So most vendors don't have Wi-Fi unless like they're using their own hotspot on their phone. So you'll see some demos that are really just kind of simulated, but not 100% real time. So just know that for sure. And you'll do okay. Like I mean, there are so many things that you can do, like even sub-metering. There's like you'll find like things on like pressure and you'll find PIC valves, which are pressure independent control valves. You're going to find new VFDs. You're going to find even like polycarbonate enclosures, new valves. So, but yeah, no, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. And if you can't make it this year, that's okay. Guess what? Next year is going to be in Vegas. So that's going to be super fun. I could not imagine what's going to happen in Vegas. And of course, the old adage, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. But I have a feeling Vegas is going to be quite wild.
I've been to some great trade shows in Vegas. World of Concrete is always in Las Vegas, and that's like the AHR of concrete. It's obviously the world runs on concrete. It's everywhere. You don't have a building to make smart until you have concrete to make the building, right?
True.
So wild stuff in Vegas. Walking into, because the trade show halls there are huge, so there'll be multiple trade shows going on in one facility. One time I was just walking off on my phone, looking through stuff, taking a break from the booth, and I just was walking through doors, and I guess I just didn't look. I looked like I was supposed to be there or something. I didn't look guilty or that I was sneaking around. I just walked into another convention somehow, and I walk in, and it's like this weed convention, and there's just this girl blows out a big giant thing of weed smoke, and I'm just like, where did I end up? I just went through a portal to somewhere. I ended up meeting some people that were glass designers that blew glass and got invited to go to a party at a glass blowing shop, and people were doing it like while the party was going on. I got to watch them make cool glass things. That was so awesome.
One of the funniest things I did at AHR, and it was in Chicago, where it was Chicago, and we were back at one of the bars. And so someone's like, yeah, Charles, come here and drink. I'm like, I'll have a drink and I'll stay there. But the conversation at the corner was actually more interesting than the people that were inviting me to drink. So I was like, hold on, guys, I'll be right back. So I went over there, and I just kind of egged on, like they were already getting into a conversation that was going to seem quite heated. And I just like threw gasoline on the fire and just stoked the flames and just let them go at it. And then like I went back and said, I'm like, yeah, now this is more entertaining. And so like the group I was with like just started laughing. They're like, that's pretty devious. And I was like, yeah, but it was fun though. I don't do that very often. We're like, yeah, no, didn't you hear what that guy said? I'm pretty sure he said this. Well, that's not exactly how I meant it. The guy's like, well, how else could you have mean it? And like, it just went through. And of course, like alcohol and emotions there, it just, I think maybe we even do a show, because obviously we want to get this out before AHR, but maybe we even do like an AHR recap as well, to kind of like, hey, what did we walk around? What did we see that we really liked? And
right.
I think that'd be kind of good too.
Who did we meet? What did we learn? Absolutely. Let's do that.
Yeah.
One pointer, actually, let's make it two pointers. So you can have a lot of fun at these shows. The nights can be dangerous, so be careful. If you're there for business, if you're there to look at it as work, make sure you go to bed at a decent time. Don't drink too much so you can get up and really absorb and get through the whole next day and, learn everything you're wanting to learn, meet all the people you want to meet. If you're there, if you're trying to woo someone over, then you should probably just stay and keep having the drinks and then take the hard day the next day, take some aspirin and deal with it. I've been in some situations where staying for that extra drink with dude was what won him over. And just keep your eyes on the prize. I mean, it definitely depends on what you're there for and what you're trying to get out of it. And just the other pointer, one of the best decisions that I ever made after going to trade shows, I was probably going to trade shows for about a decade before I really realized, why the hell am I wearing these crappy shoes? Like cheap dress shoes, inexpensive dress shoes. And now things are a little bit more loose, especially after COVID. You see a lot more people in jeans and tennis shoes. And I mean, half the people at the trade show will look like they're from a tech startup. They got jeans, tennis shoes, t-shirt, shoulder bag, and maybe a blazer. And like that's kind of the trend now. It used to be everybody used to dress up, like have a tie, the whole 9 yards. But no matter what, invest in some fantastic shoes. Spend the money. It's worth it. Whether it's dress shoes, I mean, you might, drop $300 and get a nice pair of dress shoes that are made to be comfortable all day. It makes a huge difference. Otherwise, even if you got tennis shoes, get some soles, like get the ones that are made to fit your feet. And if you don't have time to get those, just go get some Dr. Schultz inserts or something.
Yeah, like I have I actually wear Dr. Scholl's dress shoes.
Nice.
And it actually was specifically for that. And I will tell you that it really helps with me. Especially like, for bigger people, when you're standing for a long time, like your feet can get swollen and stuff like that. And they can just overall hurt. So like, even then, like when you like, go to sit down, it can be a relief and painful at the same time.
Right. That foot fatigue is a real thing. It doesn't just affect just your feet and your legs and stuff. Like when you start to feel that, everything about you starts to get tired and your mind gets dull because your brain is focused on that. Like, oh, my feet hurt so bad.
Yeah, and stay hydrated too. Just because you're in an air conditioned space doesn't mean that that it's not going to take a toll on you. So absolutely. I drink like, I don't know, 15 bottles of water. I feel like I'm a camel at times. Like it's like, where's the water go? And I take few breaks. And it's not like until like I finally like can settle down, whatever. Then my bladder's like, hey, McFly, hey, you need to go take care of that now. But yeah, like
that's usually the breaks that I take from the booth is going to the bathroom. Otherwise, I'm happy staying in the booth for most of the time. I don't even at the end of the day, it's like it's a long day, but to me, it doesn't seem like, I know a lot of people complain about it, but I really don't find many gripes about being there. It's so interesting the entire time. I mean, sure, if you're stuck at a booth, there's some lag and you get a little bored sometimes, but you always got somebody to talk to, or just go across to the guy at the booth across to you whose booth is slow too and start talking about their stuff. We talked about planning ahead of time, being ready, being prepared, doing your research, but leaving some time open to discover. Join some sessions that fit your goals. Have a technique and questions ready when you go to booths. Go in there and observe, and then kind of feel things out and take it in before you start really getting into the heavy questions. Find some squishy carpet to stand on every once in a while. Explore the food. Don't get hooked on one thing and eat that every day, every meal. Try some different stuff. And what else? Am I missing anything else? Get comfortable shoes. Invest in comfortable shoes.
Yeah, no, I think that's really it. Like,
bring your business cards.
Yeah, business cards are important. Absolutely. It just really it was a great time. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I get to see my friends, which I think is really important for me because, being in the industry as long as I have, I've met a lot of different people. And sometimes you don't know who you run into. And you don't know who is still around. So it's always really good.
You all done? You exhausted?
I think so. I think I've said all. I think I like to go home now. I think I'm tired.
I
No.
will allow it.
Yeah, I think that's all I've had to say about that. But listen, Matthew, it's always good hearing your voice as usual. I really can't
Likewise.
imagine doing this with anyone else right now. Like when we first started talking about this and got really excited about it, and we've just, we're going to continue to ride that high. So.
Yeah, let's see where it takes us.
All right. Well, you know what? That's it for the show, everyone. So remember, stay curious and invest in comfortable shoes. Until next time, I'm Charles.
And I'm Matthew.
And this has been It's a Controls Problem.
Just get a sink.